I'm going to share 7 of the best books to read as a CEO between 50 and 500,000 a year in gross revenue. For context, my name is Eric Libby and I'm the founder and CEO of the To-Do Dudes Home Service Company. We help homeowners in the Central Florida area with household chores. Since founding in 2020, every year we've had an average gross revenue increase of 87% and are on track for this year of doing over 500,000 in gross revenue. In this video, I'll be sharing the order in which I recommend to read these 7 books as your business evolves. For book 1, it's Competing Against Luck by Clayton Christensen. Have you ever wondered why some products or services wildly succeed while others flop? Well, even if that one that flops seems technically better. In the book, Clayton talks about the jobs to be done principle. It's what users have to do on their daily basis to accomplish some sort of activity. He tries to beat the notion that it needs to be novel or cool to succeed, and actually looks at what the potential users are doing to try and solve problems for them. So how it's helped me as a business owner is, instead of looking at the shiny objects and like, oh, that's a really cool idea, look to the user and understand what problems are they actually experiencing. Because if you can actually understand the problems of the customer, then you can actually build a solution to the problem. What I've gotten wrapped up in the past for sure is you look at the shiny object and like, wow, that'd be a really cool idea, this new piece of technology that would completely automate everything. But that automation is not built for the customer. It's built for our pure convenience. So when you focus on the customer, you can actually focus on the jobs to be done. And if you focus on the jobs to be done, you're going to solve their problem. Number 2, $100 million leads. Are you tired of throwing money at ads or different marketing and not knowing what's going to be successful or not? Do you want a way that's more predictable to get more scalable growth for your company? In this book, Alex talks about the 4 quadrants of ways to get customers and the 4 lead getters that will actually help you bring more clients into your door. The 4 methods to generate leads starts with warm outreach 1-to-1. This is doing a DM, a text message to someone you actually know. Those people you know are already in your network. It's gonna be easier to engage with them and get a response back. The second one will be warm outreach 1-to-many. It'll be to an audience that already knows you. A lot of times it's gonna be like a social media following, maybe a newsletter list, people that already know who you are. The third one is gonna be cold outreach 1-to-1. This is a cold call, cold email, and outreach to someone that you don't know to try and get business. And the fourth one is a cold outreach 1-to-many, and that's gonna be an advertisement. So spending money to get in front of multiple people. A lot of times this is gonna be a Facebook ad or a Google ad, or maybe putting your business in a publication, getting in front of multiple people that don't know who you are. Now for the 4 ways to actually have lead getters, the first one's gonna be customers. You do good work for someone, ask them for a referral to someone you know. It'll be the first way. The second one is gonna be your employees, people that already know and understand the product you are trying to sell. Number 3 is affiliates. These are people that are going to use your product or service and get it in front of their audience. You have more exposure, and likely you're going to have to compensate them with some sort of deal to get them to promote your company. And number 4 is an agency, going to a company that's going to help you get more leads. They have a process that they use, and they'll be able to attract more of what you're actually looking for. So how is that helpful to me? When I've thought about lead capturing in the past, a lot of times I've thought this crazy complex process, where are we getting our customers? But this model breaks it all down. It's like there's only 4 ways to actually get customers. There's only 4 types of people that can actually get you customers. So if you know that, you have a much clearer way of like, okay, let's build a referral program so we can incentivize our customers, or let's bring on an agency so they can help us drive more leads. And then on the other side of it, it's like, how do we actually reach out? Should we just send a bunch of emails? Should we reach out to our already established audience? It makes it so much clearer so we can better understand how to actually get leads. Book 3 is E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. Do you feel trapped in your business instead of actually running it? This book explains why and how to fix that. In E-Myth Revisited, Michael debunks the idea that great businesses are built by great technicians. One of the things that he really emphasizes is that to work on your business, you have to systemize a lot of the processes to actually allow you to do that. In the book, there is a great fable about a girl who loves to bake. It's one of her biggest passions. But she realizes as she gets into this bakery that it's not all about the baking. She learns that she has to do the numbers, the finances, the paperwork, things that she didn't want to do, didn't sign up for. And she was so stressed out and just realized a lot of it was because the systems weren't in place. The biggest takeaway that I've had from this book is to change the focus from working in the business to on the business as much as possible. In the beginning, it's gonna be hard. There's gonna be a lot of things where you'll have to pick up the slack on your own. But what I've realized is like the more that I'm actually working on the business, we're progressing, we are getting better. So back in 2022, one of the biggest takeaways I had was actually creating systems and departments Rather than Eric being the customer support, doing the operations, doing all the marketing, I had to have people around me that were going to be successful in their own role. So I started to put this system in place, and it wasn't ideal. And that's where this next book comes into play. Number 4, Traction. Do you feel like your business is chaos behind the scenes? Traction is a book that helps you relieve that chaos and give you clarity on where your organization actually stands. Traction introduces an idea called the EOS, or Entrepreneurial Operating System, that has 6 key components that it tracks to see where you're actually at as a company. Those 6 include vision, data, process, traction, issues, and people. Those 6 are the staple in running an effective organization. To me, this may be the most impactful out of the 7 books that I've read up to this point, because we treat this as a playbook. This is how we run our system. So before reading Traction, I felt our business was all over the place. We didn't have a clear structure for how we did things. There was no pulse on whose responsibility was certain assignments, the data, the scorecard that we were tracking, the vision, mission, values of our organization. And so when we implemented the Traction system, it took a little bit to get up and running, but as our team got the lingo, the message, the consistency of how we were going to be running our meetings, how we're going to be tracking our scorecards, this became a much easier approach to getting everyone on the same page to run the business the same way. So this is probably one of the most impactful books that I've read since starting a company. Our whole leadership team has also read this book. Highly recommend to anybody that's really getting to that next level in business. Number 5, Systemology. What if your business could run smoothly even if you weren't even there? Systemology is a step-by-step guide on how to actually document processes in your business. As an overview, this book talks about how many entrepreneurs completely overlook the value of documenting. What happens when you don't document is you actually create a job for yourself rather than a business. There's a lot of things that you'll have to do repetitively because you're the only one that knows how to do it. When you document, David Jennis, the author, says that you have the ability to actually have more freedom. You can go on vacation and it's still done the way you want it to be done. When we looked at the things we were doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, we realized a lot of this could be documented. So then when we did go out of town, we didn't leave the rest of our team members just completely up in arms. Like, how do we actually do this process? If it was clear, documented, written out, makes it easier for the full team to follow. Number 6, the $1 trillion coach. What do Apple, Google, Intuit all have in common? They had a coach that unlocked the leadership ability from those big companies. As an overview, $1 trillion coach highlights the story of Bill Campbell and how he helped people like Eric Schmidt, Steve Jobs, Larry Page build out their leadership skills and build out their teams for an effective organization. One of the things that he highlighted on leadership when he was talking to these big company executives was how important building trust was and building an effective, well-operating machine of a team. This happened through multiple ways with empathy, clear communication, but he really drilled into how to be an effective leader. For me, the biggest takeaway I had from this book was that I needed to stop being such a player and try to be more of a coach. What I was doing for the longest times, I'd be the ball hog. I'd want to get all the work done, doing everything from the CS to operations, trying to just do everything myself. I'm trying to think about how I can elevate my leadership team to continue to get better. At the end of the day, as the organization grows, I'm not going to be able to do everything. So the more that I'm able to actually coach and elevate other leaders, it'll make our organization more effective as a whole. Book number 7 is the 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. Does it ever feel like your team is not rowing in the same direction? No matter how hard you try, it just feels like people are going in multiple ways. In this book, Patrick highlights the 5 dysfunctions teams typically have and what they need to get through to be able to operate as an effective team. The 5 dysfunctions of a team are absence of trust, fear of conflict, lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability, and inattention to results. The biggest way that this book has helped me is understanding that at the To-Do Dudes, people have different personalities. Some already love conflict, like to go and press the envelope, have an agreement, where you have some people that are more agreeable and will sit back and will not push when things get uncomfortable. So as the leader, as a CEO, it is our responsibility to understand who are the people that are checked out and just really don't want to be here. Who are the people that want to be here but maybe aren't voicing their opinion? Who are the people that maybe want to be here, are voicing their opinion too much and shutting other people down? As a CEO, as the leader, the manager, the organization, it's up to us to facilitate that conversation, making sure that everyone gets their voice, everyone gets their turn to speak, bringing all that cohesive collaboration together. So in that book, it highlights how to actually do that effectively. I hope you've enjoyed these 7 books that have been extremely impactful on my journey as a CEO. If you enjoyed, I hope you maybe share it with somebody that you think would be valuable, and I'll see you in the next video.